Good evening and welcome to tonight's episode of If It Wasn't For My Knees. Tonight I am joined by GJ, Mikey D, CT and Uche. So we're going to do some more Euros talking. We've got a review of some of the games that we've seen, including the ones that have been on tonight. And then we're going to do a preview of the big games that are coming up tomorrow. So let's start with the big game at the weekend, which was England versus Scotland. We had a bit of a chat about that last week, but we're going to have a bit more of an in-depth chat. So I'm going to come to you, CT, first. One shot on goal for England. I don't think any of us gave Scotland any chance of winning that game or even getting a point out of it, but yet still it was 1-1. What did you think of the game?
Boy, I was so disappointed. In that game. And I did tell Mikey that Scotland are going to give us a game, but I didn't expect it to go quite so poorly.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. Our guys, we just weren't up for it at all. I think Scotland just showed us up really badly. I mean, I can't even pick out a player that sort of showed up for England. I'm not sure what tactical sort of instructions they got, but it just never worked at all. What can I take out of that game? Except I was just really disappointed throughout the whole game. I didn't see anything from England going forward. Mason Mount, I don't know what to say about this guy, but I think too much is being put on him, put on his shoulders. I think Gareth rates him too much because he showed me nothing in that game for the whole game, and he stayed on. And the substitutions as well, it didn't make sense. I mean, bringing Foden off when we're needing a goal, I don't understand it. And I'm going by GJ's reaction vid in the week. I agree with him totally, man. Totally poor. Yeah. And all Mikey's sentiments as well. It was just a terrible game. Terrible game,
GJ. But we should all stay calm, right? They're still going to go through.
Boy, I hope so. But, as CT said, you've got to pick the right team. And, I mean, you guys know I'm a big Foden fan. All this Kane bashing, I don't mind it. You can bash Kane all you want, but Foden's my guy for England. And, I think the one good thing, I'm going to jump the gun here, but the one good thing about Grealish having to self-isolate is, Mason Mount having to self-isolate will hopefully see Grealish and Foden, but whether Southgate might do some stupidness and find a workaround, I don't know. But Mason Mount, yeah, I just, he's a good player. He's a good player, but I don't know. I just wouldn't have him in my team. I'd rather have Grealish. And it was kind of funny because when Southgate made those subs, he took off Foden, he put on Grealish. Like the whole crowd was baying for Grealish, and it was like, yeah, we got Grealish on. He's the man. He's going to save us. But they were dead. Kane did nothing. Sterling did nothing. The hyped up dinner lady, I don't think he even touched the ball, did he?
Rashford, you mean?
Yeah. He will be knighted, but it won't be for footballing reasons. What else? I think one thing I would say for England is if Stone scores that header, and he should have scored, then I think it's a different game. But
should have, would have, could have.
Yeah, I don't even think it's a different game, man. I just don't see the chemistry at all. Until I think Uche picked it out last week, he doesn't see the hype around England. But when you kind of take away the patriotism out of it, and you watch it with a sort of level head, there's no chemistry. There's no flow in our game. Everything's static. We get the ball and we do predictable things. There's no creativity in there.
That's because they're all sitting on the bench.
Well, there you go.
You're playing two holders against Scotland. It's nonsense. So you keep playing two holders for the tournament. You keep playing this rigid structure. You keep telling your fullbacks not to cross the halfway line and not bomb on. And that's what you're going to get.
But even with that, surely you can put up some sort of performance as well. I mean, Scotland had us at the cosh. They had us. So
Declan Rice, I mean, you watch him for West Ham and he will make the odd penetrating run or definitely make progressive passes. But on Friday, he was just like 2021 version of David Batty. It was just all backward and sideways.
The problem is he's not being asked to do that. That's what Phillips is in there for.
Yeah.
So you got two holders in. You got Rice that's being told to kind of sit and just cover across, and then you got Phillips that's holding and is told to break it up a bit. That's why I said we should play Mount in the two, because having Phillips and Rice in there is just a recipe for disaster. Yeah. Phillips did well making runs into the channels against Croatia, but Mount can make those same runs. Like the things that Phillips was doing well against Croatia, Mount can do. So playing him deeper and then bringing in another attacking talent in Grealish in the middle is what England need to do. But I don't have faith that Southgate's going to do that, because he's clearly anti-Grealish. And also, Sancho should have been given some minutes as well. Like, no minutes so far in a tournament is ridiculous.
Nuts. I think this way, I'd even put Saka on. I'd put something different.
Something needs to be, there needs to be an injection of something.
100%.
And Kane needs to play as a 9. He doesn't need to drop in. All the players want to drop in. That's the problem.
Tottenham ruined him, man. Or Jose's ruined the guy.
If you play Grealish,
he won't be there much longer. That's all right. Sorry, DJ, go on.
Yeah, if you play Grealish in that 10, then obviously Kane doesn't have to drop in there.
Come in. Yeah,
definitely.
Because even in the last games, you got Kane and Mount taking up similar positions. It's just silly.
Yeah, definitely.
That has to come from the manager.
Yeah, and the other thing I'd say is I would drop I would probably drop Sterling for Sancho if you're going to make a change in the front three.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he obviously scored in the first game. He didn't play that well, I didn't think.
No,
he sort of got better after he scored. But the last game he against Scotland, although not many players in the team, in the team were very good, he was particularly poor, I thought. So yeah, I can see that as a shout. But Uche, you're being quite quiet there. I know you've got quite particular thoughts about how it doesn't really matter which of these England players you put in, you're still going to get pretty much the same result.
Yeah, I keep going through. Like I said, I want. Obviously, it's been a few days now. We had a reaction pod, and then afterwards think more about it. And everything about England is intentional. Nothing is a surprise. What Mikey's asking for will never, ever happen under this manager. And there's just no point thinking about something that's never going to happen. So I don't think about it because it's never going to happen. He's been in charge for a number of years. He's never going to do what you're asking them to do. It's just not going to happen. England are looking to build and win the games by set pieces. They got to the semi-finals of the World Cup by scoring 9 of their 12 goals from dead ball situations. This is how they do. This is how they roll in tournaments. This is what their plan is. 2 holders, stay back to full backs, keep it tight, and try and win it by 1 goal or take it to penalties. There's no drama here. There's no drama left in me to talk about, because to me, nothing's going to change. Like literally, even if you try to play what he claims going to be, the instruction is going to be the same. Rice doesn't play the same way. Rice doesn't play the same way he plays for West Ham, because Rice has been told, maintain, sit back, get the ball, pass the ball, don't try and do anything fancy, because we're not here to play that kind of game. And that's just the way it goes. And for me, we can keep wishing for all these things. I don't think any of that is going to transpire. We just have to accept that this is what England plan is, which is to win by a dead ball situation.
Yeah, but do you know what? And it was mentioned in the group chats quite a lot today. This whole COVID situation with Mount not being available for the next game, hopefully, it almost forces Grealish to be selected.
Yeah.
One massive game from Grealish changes everything, because they literally cannot drop Grealish if he has like an outstanding game. So it would be forced, and definitely Southgate wouldn't have been looking to do it, but it's something that could change things.
Yeah,
definitely. Go on, DJ.
I said he could do, but like I said, it's more like hopeful. This guy has got a very specific. I know he's not rated. I don't particularly rate him, but he's got a very specific way he wants to go about trying to either win this tournament or at least repeat what we did last time 3 years ago, which is against the semi-final. It's very specific, which is to keep it tight and win on dead ball situation. And like I say, for me, all these group games, they don't really matter. I mean, we're going to discuss about games, but we have to fully accept that most of these group games doesn't matter. The moment you get your 3 points, let alone 4 points, your end goal is done. So whatever we're going to analyze Czech Republic, I'm sure we play them. But to me, again, it's going to be a small analysis for me because England have done what they needed to do. I want to see England now in that last 16. Who are they going to play? It sounds like it's going to be that group, unfortunately for them. And that's where I think that the hopes end. And I want to see something different. See if they can take it. Can they win by that dead ball situation? Then after, if they can get through that, then they're back in Wembley, and hopefully things can change. But until then, honestly, I don't think anything's going to change. Like Mikey said, they might play Grealish, but that would just be a one-off for me. Once this guy comes back from his COVID, he's going to come back in because that's his boy.
Yeah, so we'll come on to talk about what we think England are going to do in that final game. But the other game in the group was Croatia against Czech Republic. Not really a lot to say in that game. Slightly bizarre referee decision for me anyway, to give the penalty against the mighty Lovren, Dejan Lovren, where he went up to head the ball and then his elbow must have hit the Czech player, and then the ref gave a penalty after reviewing it with VAR. Ended up 1-1 with Perisic scoring. Good goal, although the keeper kind of dived out of the way for that one. But yeah, that was the other result. Not really that interested. No. All right, so let's talk about something that was interesting. Hungary against France. Dark horses. One of the many dark horses.
They turned up for you, CT.
Finally.
Give these guys a chance. That's all I'm saying. Give them a little chance, man. They got to bet themselves into the tournament. That's all, man.
So Hungary against France. What? Nobody saw that one coming. Even the Hungarians, probably. Good performance by them. Surprising one. But France probably should have taken the lead from what I saw earlier in the game, and then Hungary did. But yeah, what a great performance by Hungary, and it's kind of thrown this group open a little bit. Mikey, going for you.
Yeah, I think France are probably taking Uche's tournament kind of style, where you kind of struggle through the group stage and then win the tournament. Yep. It looks like they're not blitzing teams, and Mbappe's not scored yet. In fact, who scored on Saturday?
On goal and what's this one? This one who scored this one? Griezmann.
Griezmann tapping, yeah.
So Mbappe and Benzema, no goals yet in 2 games. But France seemingly going through quite comfortably. So yeah, Mbappe, some fleeting moments. Hungary did well. They managed to get a draw against France. They won't be getting a draw against Germany. That's it was 1-1. That was it. On to the next one.
You're getting that fed up. You're getting that fed up games, right?
No, you know what it is? Hungary are going home. They did well to get a draw. France are virtually through.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
You was annoyed.
What do you mean? No. There's no annoyance there.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, like, you was annoyed because Mbappe didn't, that was a chance to bang in a few, and like.
Oh no, I've not got money on him on anything or anything like that, so there's no need for annoyance. I just like to see goals. That's what I like to see. But yeah, I got those in the next match.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Mr. Trex. You're right about Portugal did struggle. They had 3 draws last time, and you're spot on. It's all about qualifying at this stage, where you won't find any disagreements here.
Yeah, that's right. That's the issue with it. For me, I thought Hungary played fantastic from their home fans. They were absolutely great. Their tactics spot on. They had their goal. But apart from that, I think France is disappointing. Whatever, France know what they're doing. The players know what they're doing. They had Griezmann at one point practically playing at left back, to try and defend, which is just weird. But these guys are good at defending. They enjoy it. They enjoy that part of the game. And they know it's a group stage. It's almost like there's fine-tuning things that they need to do to get right for the next stage. Because everyone knows we're not actually threatening here. We're not never not going to qualify. We're probably, and to them, they're probably so confident that they're thinking, even if we came second, is it a disaster? No. So what's the drama? Just tweak a few things during the group stages, use it to fine-tune what we're really here to do. And then when we get to the next round, we can do whatever we need to do. Unlike some teams who will have to be working on permutation, I need to come top or second because this will happen. I don't think France are thinking that way. So going to the next game, if they throw it, we're going to say, okay, we didn't top the group. Germany topped it. So what? Whoever we're playing next, we deal with them in the normal fashion. And that's where this tournament is headed. This is why this third place finish. And this is not really a group of death because, like we're going to discuss it in previews, Portugal are virtually through to the next round, even if they lose to France.
Yep, that is very, very true. So let's move on. Unless CT you wanted to comment on France or Hungary.
No, just big up my guys Hungary for coming through. It's a bit late. It's a bit late in the day, but maybe the next tournament, maybe World Cup in it. We'll do a thing.
Is this one of your dark horses again?
Yeah.
So who does you have coming forth in that group then? If they're the dark horses,
I can't say.
Germany.
Definitely
I can't say.
Just chat.
So speaking of Germany, Portugal versus Germany ended up 4-2 to Germany. What a result! They absolutely hammered Portugal in that first half. And the final result was a fair reflection of the game. Probably should have even been more. The manager got criticism, but for fielding the three in defence and having wing-backs. But it was the wing-backs that destroyed Portugal. GJ.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to confess I didn't see the first half of the game, but I saw all of the second half, and I was listening to the first half. I was coming back from Cambridgeshire, but from what I heard on the radio, it's basically what I said. I predicted. I said I didn't understand all the hoo-ha about Germany getting criticised after the first game. That they weren't bad against France. France are just a well-oiled machine, arguably the best team in the world, and they lost narrowly, and it was an own goal anyway. And they did have some chances in that game. You got to respect Germany. This is a Euros. It's a big international tournament. You never write off the Germans. And I remember like a certain man in this forum said, "Oh, if Portugal go 1-0 up, it's done. Forget about it." Really?
Does that man want to put his hand up to that comment?
Of course, I said it. I don't respect Germany. In this tournament, I don't respect Germany at all, but they were absolutely fantastic against Portugal. Completely deserved to win. Should have been more, like Rail said. Absolutely no issues. You comment on the game. They couldn't handle the wing-backs. For a coach that has obviously won the tournament, you would think that if you can see that Semedo needed some help, and at half-time you're 2-1 down, and you still refuse to give him help, they're killing him out there. They're killing both your full-backs by having wing-backs. And you just point blank refuse to address it. Like literally just said, nah, keep on killing them. That's some crazy confidence in your back four. And pretty much all their goals came from wing-back position. So for me, Germany get top mark. But I think Portugal more than play their part. There's something that France could do. But again, it doesn't really matter. If this was a knockout game, I reckon France could even think about playing wing-backs against Portugal. Because if they're going to carry on with that kind of nonsense, they're just going to get slapped again. Because it was just ridiculous. They're making Goossens and Kimmich look like, especially Goossen, look like a top player that someone should be bidding £50 million for. But the things that they had were just unbelievable. Completely dominated them, literally tortured them. But I don't think Germany are as good as they looked in that game personally, because I still think the same problem is gonna face them in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net. Obviously, they got 2 own goals, but they were fantastic. Completely deserved to win. There's no question.
And CT, do you think that Germany have kind of given other teams a blueprint for how they beat Portugal? Should Portugal go to the next round?
Yeah, because that is just basics. If your fullbacks are getting smoked like that, you have to change something. Like throughout the whole game, you didn't want to change it. I don't understand. And who's managing that team? Is it actually Ronaldo? He didn't want to change it because I don't understand. If you're on the bench watching your fullbacks getting smoked like that, you have to change it. Like do something, double up, triple up, just sit back, do something, man. But it's just if they don't change it, they'll get smoked.
Yeah,
like totally, they'll get smoked by any team because that is the blueprint right there.
For me, it has to be win back. If you're playing Portugal, they're not happy. You just gotta go away. Unless you don't have the win back system, because if they're gonna do that again,
it looked too easy. It looked too easy for Germany. And again, I don't think, as you said, Ro, I don't think you can write Germany off, and you always gotta show them a bit of respect in tournaments because they know they've been there, done that. But can you take much out of that game other than the manager got the tactics spot on, and Portugal were very poor tactically because they should have put up a better fight than that. So it's a tough one. You can't really take much, but Germany done what they're supposed to do. So big up Germany.
Yeah, for real. And Mikey, you've been trying to tell these guys not to disrespect Germany, and you've been proven right.
Being beaten a drum. I said that what was going to happen. I said Havertz would score. I said that Portugal's fullbacks would get ripped. I said that Germany would score more than 2 goals. I said that Germany.
Hope you put a bet on, bro.
I was going to say it.
I know. I was watching it. I was like, tick, tick, tick. Oh my Lord. Yeah, no. I think I'm taking more positives than CT out of that game. I think Germany's performance was really good. Really good game, and it wasn't just the ripping of the fullbacks. I think the general play was good as well. I was disappointed in Portugal. They didn't show that they were on a level with Germany, basically. And for the lineup that they put out, that was embarrassing because the lineup, apart from you would probably put in Cancelo for Semedo, would have been their strongest lineup. Well, unless you look at some of the substitutes that came on and they made a bit more of an impact. The winger, is it Silva?
Yeah.
Yeah, Silva. He's looking quite nice. But other than that, Germany were much better. And they're still not playing Sane. They're still kind of playing this Gnabry, Müller, Havertz kind of combo, which worked out against Portugal. It'll be interesting to see France versus Portugal and see what happens. Yeah. Unfortunately, if Portugal can get through with a loss, that's not going to help things because we won't learn much from the game.
Nope.
Can they get through with a loss?
Of course.
The way it's working out, with the goals scored, the whole competition is just looking a farce.
It's a joke. They will definitely. It's not Sunday. They will get through with the loss. The only way they're gonna not get through with the loss is they lose by 3 goals. They're going through because they'll go through. If it's 2 goals, will the goal difference be the same as the other 2 Watkins, whoever finished, and then they'll go from goals scored. So it's a nonsense. The tournament is a joke for this third place. And part of me feels like Portugal kind of knows this, but they're doing some weird stuff. You know? I don't get it. I wish they would get knocked out. That's why I was trying to hype the game. Until I realized when this game was about to play, when these groups were unraveling today, and I kind of looked at it, I thought, hang on a minute, these jokers are going to go through with a 1-0 or 2-0 anyway. So what's the point?
I did say, didn't I? I said the Euros should be 16 teams.
Last time you said that, internet's not working. So you want to be careful.
Well, DJ, check this out. It should be. Like I said, they came third last time. I won it. It's like they just play. I don't think it's intentional, right? I don't think they're purposely losing or drawing like they did 4 years ago. But for some reason, they just figured out just do enough to qualify, knowing that there's 2 phases to this thing. That's why you have to be very careful. I know we're going to talk about it, about the Holland and the Italy, because yes, you look good, no one's gonna give a damn if you're getting handled in the next round and you're out.
Yeah.
No one's gonna care. You're gonna get dissed.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. You look at Italy and like you're thinking, yeah, you haven't conceded a goal and you're playing all this free flowing football, but it just takes one bad performance, or you go 1-0 down in a knockout match.
You're out.
Then the pressure's on. Then we'll see your free flowing football, and you know what I mean. Because when you haven't conceded a goal for ages, and then suddenly you go 1-0 down, you'll see like you'll see shookness.
Everyone's asking Mikey what the lottery numbers are. Everyone, fullback. I've already asked him. Just inboxed it to me. So fullback.
Seek help.
But yeah, so let's talk about the other group. As you mentioned, Italy there. Let's talk about them. So they made 8 changes for the game against Wales. I had this one down as a draw, but even though they made so many changes, they actually really played really, really well and looked really, really good again. I won't ask Mikey because I know he didn't watch the game.
Wait. Hold on. We spoke earlier. I told you this is the only Italy game that I've seen.
Oh,
you're right.
So it was right to skip you.
I heard 8 changes. I was like, let me tune in and see what's going on.
Okay. What do you think there might
It was
be?
just by coincidence I was able to watch this game. And I was actually disappointed that there was 8 changes because I wanted to see what all this hype was. I wanted to see Locatelli, all the guys. But I got to see Verratti. He's one of my kind of favourite players in midfield. Italy looked pretty decent. Wales could have still scored against them, though.
Yeah.
They made 8 changes, so I don't know what to make of it. So you guys are better placed in terms of having seen the 3 games. But their defensive record, even if they should have scored on Saturday, their defensive record is looking pretty decent going back a number of games now, pre-tournament, etc. And they've got guys that can put the ball in the back of the net, which is what you're going to need. So, yeah, although I dislike Italy, they're obviously contenders.
You don't have to tell us twice.
Say that again?
You don't have to tell us that. We know this.
Yeah, straight. I'm just telling the viewers. They just need to know my position.
Every time.
Every time they play. But, they're playing who I predicted they would play in the knockouts as well, Austria. So I saw them going through. Yeah, so they'll be in the quarterfinals. And if things go to plan, they'll be playing Belgium.
Yeah.
And then I expect them to be going home.
Yeah.
Hey.
But then saying that, we'll get on to probably a preview of that. But Belgium's defense gives them Italy a massive chance as well because Belgium has got some geriatrics and some travellers and anybody they could get with a passport's in that Belgium.
To be fair to them, it is a very tiny country, so we have to be fair to Belgium. To be fair.
Yeah. And CT, you and I on the Italy hype train now.
Listen,
they're our team.
They've gained a fan, bro. They've gained a fan.
He hasn't got an Italy shirt, but he's got a blue England shirt.
It's on order. I tried to get as close as possible to the colour, bro. You know
just get a sticker. Get a sticker and put it on there.
You know what? I bought into them, man, because this ain't the Italy that I know. Like, this is not. I have never seen Italy play like this. They're balling out, bro. Like, they're probably
very different.
Besides them and probably Netherlands, they're balling. They're the
Netherlands are killing everyone.
Best team to watch for me because Italy are balling out. The players are working together. The chemistry's there. The play's there. They're ready for everything. And I mean, they made 8 substitutions and they're still balling out. So, exactly, and I think I read today that Mancini's going to give every one of those squad members some minutes within the group stages because there was some, I don't know if Uche, you might know the story. There was something years back where...
Yeah. Basically, Mancini
is rubbish this.
It's fake music.
Because it's statistically inaccurate because the third keeper obviously didn't get a minute, but the idea is still solid. So Mancini obviously had a lot of problems going back all the World Cups. One, he turned up unprofessionally and got dropped. So there's a lot of stories with Mancini's background where he should have played in tournaments and basically didn't play. So he's always said he's regretted not doing that. So he was really looking forward to this tournament to almost say, we're going to make sure that the experience that he missed out on, he passes it on to the players. So that's what the story was about, trying to get every player the minutes, which he didn't get some of this.
Yeah, I like their story, man. I respect it. They've turned me, mate. I disliked Italy as well, but the way they're playing, you can't dislike the football. If you're a football fan, you can't dislike it.
We'll get Mikey on board. Don't worry, we'll get Mikey on board. It's coming.
I'm shocked at Mikey's stance because he's a football man. So
but what did I say?
He hasn't seen it though. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, okay.
I said they're very different, but that doesn't mean I have to like them. When you can't like every team, you know what I mean? My historical teams are the Netherlands and France in terms of like years back. So every Euros or World Cup I tune in, like
back in Gomes' days,
France. Huh?
Back in GJ's days.
Hey,
was it Brazil? What's this Brazil?
When I bring my Netherlands top next time, hopefully they aren't out by then.
Mikey must be talking about Holland 74, 78.
No, that's your year.
Your heyday. Your heyday, GJ.
When you were 20, GJ. You were out on the town.
But Uche, you didn't think you'd be talking about Italy as entertainers of this tournament?
No, I didn't think they would win the games, but I knew the way he would play, and I was interested to see would he go back to being Italian when it counts, or would he carry on how he played? Well, I definitely didn't expect that they win all 3 games. It's just been fantastic. So going back to what Mikey said, I've always been in Italy purely because the first time I remember getting the DVDs of all the World Cups, and you always talked about these 82 teams, Brazil 82. And it just used to annoy me because I'm like, the greatest team that ever won the World Cup. I'm like, what's this? Someone clapped you out. Like, who's that team that clapped you out? I want to know about them. Because since you're the best team since sliced bread, let me see, what did they do to clap you out? So since then, especially with the Paolo Rossi stories, I've always kind of liked Italy for upsetting the whole thing when no one gave you a chance. It's all about, that's what I love about playing for your country, passion, beating against the odds, that kind of thing. But back to Mancini, it was just playing the football, front foot football. Verratti was absolutely fantastic, dominated midfield. He was so great. I know he's going to have to start because obviously it was intentional. He's going to miss the first 2 games through injury. So it'll be very interesting because part of me definitely don't want Locatelli to be benched because it just doesn't make any sense. But then that means Barella will have to bench time because Verratti simply has to play. Verratti is the best player, best Italian player, best gifted player in the whole squad. So Verratti has to come in some way. But the original trio was meant to be Verratti, Barella, and obviously Jorginho. So it'll be interesting to see what he does against Austria. But he probably chops and changes, but we'll be very disappointed. I'll be very sad for Locatelli if he doesn't play. But yeah, Italy overall, I just wish he was the Immobile of last year because he was on fire, scored just over 30 Serie A goals, and obviously won the top scorer. So he still banked about 20, I think, this season, but he hasn't been the same one. But Italy are just playing so well. Like I said, I get nervous. I actually looked this up. So the last 3 times they've actually won the first 3 group games. You can guess what happened, right? They clearly didn't win it. So I'm a little bit worried about that statistic. But everything looks good. 11 straight wins without conceding, 30 games unbeaten. I think they equal the record or beat the record of the previous predecessors. But like I said, now that chapter is over. Chapter 2, what it's all about, knockouts. Can you go out and win this? Because you're playing great stuff. But then I don't think they're going to change the start, Real. I think they're going to try and take the game to all the opposition. And like Mikey said, everything goes according to plan. Then it'll be interesting to see if Belgium takes care of business. Let's see what happens Italy, Belgium if they meet in the quarterfinals.
And GJ, Mr. Trex has got Italy at peak too early. Do you think that's correct, or are they looking really good? As Mikey said, looks like they're going to be getting into the quarterfinals to face probably Belgium.
Well, I think have Italy peaked too early? Only time will tell. They're right to rest legs. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We're talking if you're planning to win the tournament, which obviously everyone is. It's a 7-match tournament over 4 weeks. So you have to rest legs, and I don't know when their second round match is, but So we'll have to wait and see on that. But Mr. Trex just said there, let's wait and see Italy against the other big teams. They may revert to their old ways. I reckon against Austria, they'll go toe-to-toe and they'll beat them. But I think against Belgium, then we might see the more conservative side of Mancini. And I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a more old school sort of Catenaccio style.
I think the reverse will happen. I actually think he will try and go for it and they'll lose. One
Against Belgium.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think he'll go for it. I don't think he'll change his style. Put it that way.
I can't see it.
Not Belgium's defense. No way.
Sorry,
you don't think Belgium's attack will make?
I don't think. I'm just telling you now. I don't think whether it does ends up being he ends up being this for that. I don't think Mancini is going to change his style. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The whole idea since he's been in charge is to be on the front foot, right? So it'll be very, very strange because that's why those three ballers are playing.
But they haven't conceded a goal in 10 matches. I mean, you still talk about being on the front foot, but that's like Fort Knox style defending.
No, it's not though. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't like comparing teams, but it's almost like if your team's on the front foot, yeah, they're pressing well as a team. So obviously defensively, they want to have the ball, they'll have the ball back as soon as possible. So by having the most of the ball, obviously possession-wise, you're likely to concede many chances, right? So I don't think they were like giving the ball. They don't actually like giving the ball to the opposition. They'll actually go press for the ball. Give me that ball. That's what we like. Because they have the three in there. Jorginho, which will be now Verratti or Barella or Locatelli, try and hold on and play football. I don't think he's going to change it. But like I said, the problem with that is if you lose, Italians are going to go, what are you doing? This is not our style. This is not how it works. So that's what I'm saying. It's going to be a bit of a strange one. But I generally don't think he will change it.
I'm backing Italy against Belgium if they go toe to toe. Just that defense.
Nah.
Belgium's defense. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm backing KDB and Lukaku. Lukaku knows how to batter and ram them Italian defenders. They can't handle him. Was peaking too early because they've not played badly. Does that mean England is yet to peak? England have never peaked
at any tournament ever.
That's true, though.
We're waiting.
96, baby.
Even that.
We beat Panama 6-1. That was peaking, right?
Oh yeah.
The qualifiers,
yeah. Just a quick word on Wales before we talk about Spain against Poland. Big up Wales. Although they lost the game, almost drew with a late chance for Bale. They've done it again. Looks like they're qualified for the next round. Well, they have qualified.
Yeah,
they're qualified.
So they're qualified for the next round. So yeah, big up Wales for great performance, great achievement as well. So let's talk about...
big up Wales, but I want CT to mention. CT, you got to have a quick word on Turkey, mate. I'm not letting you get away with that. I'm not letting you get away.
Listen, we'll move on. Forget Turkey. I've got another dark horse for Italy now. Hungary done a little thing. Turkey, I'm finished. Turkey, they owe me money actually. Turkey owe me money. They owe me a bit of money still. That's it. That's all I've got to say.
Let's talk about Spain. Now, I've written down Spain are useless. They had 76% possession. They had 80% possession in the previous game. They've scored 1 goal. Pathetic. Useless.
Did you guys all watch the game?
I didn't see the
game.
I watched it. They should have won again, convincingly, but they've got an inept striker that is defended by his manager in Morata. But saying that, Morata's movement for his goal was actually really, really good. But he misses ridiculous chances. And I don't know if you saw the follow-up to the penalty that was missed. Yep. So saying that the penalty should have been scored, number one. Yep. And then he misses the follow-up. You can't even explain how he's managed to get his body in that position to miss the whole goal. They won't go far. They might not get out of the group the way they're going. They're on 2 points at the moment. But they're the type of team that were the Portugal of last time in terms of they're not going to get spanked by anybody because they're able to retain the ball and keep a structure and keep it pretty comfortable. They could grind their way through. I wouldn't.
A draw takes them through, doesn't it?
Nah, a draw would leave them on.
They'll be on 3 points. So then there's
you'll be dependent
with the others. Yeah.
I'm only saying that because obviously in 2016, Portugal had 3 draws as well and sneaked through. So
yeah, someone's going to go through with 3 points.
Yeah,
maybe 2 teams.
Yeah. Someone got Lewis Hamilton outside their house.
I was gonna say someone's gonna get their car jacked or something.
That's how CP starts out.
Nah, I'm good. It's good.
Check outside.
Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I got a sicker mobilizer in my car. So anyway.
But yeah, Spain, they're kind of toiling at the moment. A lot of possession, not really taking the chances. Morata is not the greatest of players to have if you want to take chances. But do they actually have anyone on the bench that can replace him?
It's tough. I was going to say you could play Ferran Torres up there, or you could play Moreno up there, but they played Moreno and Morata on Saturday. Was it Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah. They played the 2 of them, and then Torres.
And they played Torres in the first game.
Yeah, it's like they can't work a combination. And the more I'm watching Spain, the more I'm thinking, how can you not have these Real Madrid players in there? It literally doesn't make sense. Asensio or Isco or any of these guys as players, like watching them, it just doesn't make sense. And what's going on with Thiago?
Yeah, they dropped him. What was that about?
He's sitting on the bench. I don't understand what's going on.
I don't know.
It doesn't
It's baffling to me.
Yeah, it's weird.
He doesn't fancy him, does he?
Clearly not.
He's not feeling him at all.
There's a fair comment from Mr. Trek saying, to be fair, not many countries have a top number 9 anymore. There's a few squads in the tournament like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that group, I just haven't paid any interest to it because that group is completely uninterested. Just full of teams who never play football, and Spain are one of them. They're awful. Just passing the ball around for a ring time. But I dislike that Spain goes back a long time anyway. So I'm enjoying the result. But like Mikey said, someone better understand that you need to knock this team out because they've come in here with a plan. And the plan is hold on to the ball, maybe have penalties. Maybe Morata will bury a penalty and they'll go through to the next round. So you better stay. Whoever's on their side of the draw, if Spain comes through, you better be ready because you're not going to touch the ball many times. So you get frustrated, you make one mistake, and they could win the game 1-0. So just understand that there's a complete 2 separate chapters to Spain. The best way to knock out Spain is to knock them out now. They're showing signs I'm not really confident. I dislike them, but I want to kick them while they're down. But they're not down enough, so I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to fall for it. So I'm hoping that someone. Well, then I looked at it playing Slovakia, isn't it, or something? What's Slovakia
next? Yeah.
What are they going to do?
Horrid.
Well, they're currently above them in the table. So, yeah. And if it's a draw, then they're in trouble potentially.
Potentially, but they could go through because that would be everything would be equal, wouldn't it?
Basically 0.
Zero.
That might be enough.
That's crazy.
It's a madness.
Got to say, Lewandowski took his header well.
Very well.
He did, yeah. Someone complaining about a free kick. Was that goal? Is that the one where he nudged the defender? Never a free kick for me. Never. Great header. Okay, so who was speaking there? I took my
highlights because I wasn't feeling Spain.
Okay, so tonight we had a couple of we had a few games tonight. North Macedonia against Netherlands and Ukraine against Austria. Netherlands run out easy winners in the end, but North Macedonia did have a goal disallowed and had a chance after that as well. But yeah, as I say, comfortable Gini is like a man possessed for Netherlands at the moment. Captain Gini, scoring goals for fun, something we never ever got to see at Liverpool.
Looks like he's loving football.
Yeah, the shackles are off, man.
Sure,
He wants to play.
I'm sure he loves the Premier League and Champions League trophies too, but there you go.
I'm sure he loves the trophies, but not the holding and defending that he had to do.
To be fair, probably not. And then Ukraine against Austria. It was a 1-0 victory for Austria, I think, in that game.
Yeah, scratch that game.
Houdini trolled him.
Houdini, can we just give Gini the Ballon d'Or already? Exactly. But yeah, so yeah, Netherlands have gone through, and Austria have gone through, and then the other teams are waiting for what's going to happen with the third place team. Any more to add to that before we talk about the 8 o'clock kickoffs?
Wait, let's talk about Netherlands and how good they are.
All right, go on.
We spent some time talking about Italy rolling over these teams. Why not Netherlands?
That
Okay,
group is dead,
Netherlands.
bro.
Because they can't defend.
Expected Netherlands to do anything.
No, because
In that group,
They're playing for
No.
everyone.
no, I expect them to solve the group, but not to do anything.
Not
Just
like this though.
No.
yeah, they're balling. They're balling.
They look very nice.
They're balling.
That's all I'm going to say. But they're probably going to come up against Germany or Portugal in the next round. It's crazy. But we'll see, because apparently right now they can face 12 different teams.
To be honest, you just said they couldn't face Portugal, right?
Yeah.
I think they would knock out Portugal because they
You
play.
know what? I would take them with the Dumfries.
They play. They play back three, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, the wing
And they got their wing back system is on point.
Boy,
Yeah.
They're trying. If that guy doesn't refuse to change something again, and he's gonna leave Semedo and the other left back on an island, yeah, I would fancy that.
It'll be interesting.
If it's Holland Portugal, I'm willing to have a little bet on that because I'm back in Portugal. Wing backs or no wing backs.
No,
That Portuguese
Mikey,
attack, they're
shots
going to
at
have
you.
some fun against
I
Holland.
feel like he is.
They should do.
Don't have it, bro.
You talking to me?
He's sending shots at you, Mikey. Don't have
Hey,
it.
DJ, you talking to me?
Don't have it.
You talking to me? Sound like bloody who is it? Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver. I mean, who do you think you are, mate? I mean, look, I like Holland. Like I said, I like Italy and Holland are my two favourite European nations outside of England. You know, and I want them to win it. If we don't, but I just look at the Dutch defence and Van Dijk not being there, man. They're just too open, and I just feel like Portugal. I think they'll have some fun against that Dutch defence.
Nah, Blind would give
a similar game.
Blind would give Semedo nightmares.
Yeah.
Holland aren't Germany though.
No, but Blind. Every time I watch Netherlands, I turn
them.
it on. Blind's like a striker. he's gonna give him.
Why are you this thing? Did you know about who Bruce's was before the game was kicked? Come on, man.
Frankly, I never had
Atlanta's attacking fullback now.
Yeah, but it's actually like,
Yo, man knows.
Hey, you got to do your research.
you know what I'm saying? And the same thing could have Dumfries or whoever plays.
This Dumfries, he's the one.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. What we saw was very bad from a Portugal point of view because Goosen is a very good player, but not in that level. He was murking. I'm talking about Mbappe type destruction. That's kind of level this guy was on. He was mashing them. Literally. It was complete. Literally. Honestly, when Mbappe does that, you'd be like, yeah, that's what you expect. Goosen was killing them. So if you allow that to happen, Dumfries and whoever plays the other wing back is going to do the same thing. So be careful, man. And all this stuff about Portugal, we've got a Fernandes brother, just literally, I don't know what he's doing.
He's not doing anything. He's literally a non-entity on the pitch.
Literally just existing. So we're playing with nearly 10 men here. So, man, I had my first pick was Portugal, but for what I saw, I'm thinking if you can't adjust to something that to me looked basic enough, right? As good as they played, you couldn't adjust to that. My goodness me. That is worrying.
It is. It is. Okay, so let's quickly touch on the games that came this evening, the 8 p.m. kickoffs. So Finland against Belgium, Russia against Denmark. It was kind of slow going in both games in the first half, and then it kind of just sparked into life in the second half of the second half. So Belgium ran out 2-0 winners in the end, and then Denmark destroyed Russia in the end, 4-1. But that doesn't quite tell the story, because at 2-0 to Denmark, at the very same time, Belgium were going 1-0 up against Finland, which was then ruled out. Then there was a penalty given in the Denmark game, which Russia scored, making it 2-1. So the Danish fans were a bit nervous, the Danish team a bit nervous, but then Belgium took the lead and then ran out 2-0 winners, and Denmark ran out 4-1 winners. So great result for Denmark. They're through. Belgium topped the group. Romelu Lukaku finally is starting to make my bet look like it's not going to be a waste of money. Come on, mate. But yeah, any more to add to that before we go into the previews for tomorrow's games?
Yeah, I just want to mention Denmark. I don't know if I'm speaking for you four guys, but I think there are a lot of people's second team because of what happened to Christian Eriksen and that. And I was so happy to see Denmark through. They played really well tonight, bossed the match, and had some really unlucky decisions. I don't think that was a penalty, the Vestergaard foul. I think the guy went down way too easy, and I can't believe I can't believe the referee gave it, and two, I think there was nowhere near. That was enough there for the referee to say to overturn it, and how that fullback, the left back for Russia didn't get sent off is an absolute farce, because that Dane was clean through down the channel, and he just cynically grabbed him and pulled him down. Just already being on a yellow card, that was a second yellow all day every day. But
and that was just before the penalty decision as well.
Yes, exactly that.
Literally,
it was a double whammy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
So happy for them.
Yeah, agreed. I think
for me,
all I
wanted to add is just like I just love him Lukaku playing football, especially when he's got such a crazy player in De Bruyne. Just seemed to be completely on the wavelength, and for me, Lukaku is the best striker in the tournament. And I wish him all the best. Not only because I put a bet on him being top goal scorer like Real did, but because I genuinely believe he's having a fantastic tournament. He's had a fantastic season, and just a lot of things that he does in the game that was just so brilliant. So just a shout out to Lukaku so far.
Imagine how good Spain would be if they had Lukaku.
Oh, not that great because they don't have any wingers.
They don't have
Stop the hate,
I don't know what you guys are watching, but like I said, I wouldn't like to comment too much. I haven't watched Spain. I just want confirmation that they're out. That's all I'm
You know what? He's shook that Spain would knock Italy out.
I'm slightly worried, yeah. I'm slightly worried.
I know it.
This tournament, after what happened 4 years ago, I'm always looking at this tournament with a dodgy eye because I'm thinking, it's always the ones that you don't look at. They are the ones. Portugal, the way they sneak before you knew it, Portugal were in the semi-final. Everyone was like, what happened? And then they were just there.
Yeah.
And this easily happened to any of these sides, all these ones that look so dodgy during the group stages. And Spain know what they need to do. They've got a fantastic manager who knows what it takes to win games as well. So, I'm definitely worried. I can't rule them out until they're officially out.
Okay, so let's move on to talk about the previews of the games coming up. So, big game tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Czech Republic against England, and then Croatia against Scotland. So we start with England, Czech Republic. So we kind of touched on the force change in the team that Southgate's going to have to make, because Mason Mount is now self-isolating because he was in contact with Billy Gilmour's Chelsea teammate. So that means they're going to have to make a change. Probably going to be Grealish, you hope, to come in. But do we think that that's what Southgate's going to do? And given that Mount has been on free kicks do we think that then means that Trippier's coming back into the team as well?
Not necessarily.
Are you trolling?
James can go on the free kicks.
Sorry, who, Mikey?
James.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
Is Southgate going to put James on free kicks?
It's a mess. It's a mess. It's
crazy.
a total mess.
James, well, where did you get James from?
On the free kicks.
I've heard it all now, Mike.
You've not
backing him. Backing him blind.
I'm backing him blind. You're backing him with no eyes.
James,
he's not backing him.
I'm just not backing him, bro.
Wait. I heard that Walker was out because he had something, right? So wouldn't he just come back in? Because
Say that again?
I heard that Walker only missed it because of some issue. So wouldn't he just come back in because he's obviously ahead
if he did miss it because of an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walker's coming back.
I don't see why Walker would come back in. Walker was terrible.
No, I agree. I thought it was bad.
So when you made the suggestion of playing Trippier in the game, in the pod before the last game, that made more sense to me than Walker playing right back again. Walker shouldn't be in there.
I don't think based on I'm just going by what Southgate would do. He's more experienced.
Yeah.
Wait, are we really going to be picking a player based on free kicks? What the hell is this? Mount takes free kicks, he's out. So we got to find someone on the bench that takes free kicks.
Mate, this is what Southgate's thinking.
Really can take it.
Dead ball situations is
guys on there that can take it.
You got Grealish and Foden on there, man. It's like, come on, these guys are ballers. Can't they take set pieces or what?
Shaw takes every set piece for Man United.
No, I don't think that's an issue.
Shaw takes every set piece, every corner, free kick, he's on it.
No, I don't think that's an issue. I think set piece shouldn't be an issue. I think he starts with Walker because that's what I expect.
I'd start with Walker.
I just think that's what he's going to do. I think it starts with Walker, and then he starts with obviously Shaw left back this time, and immediately he starts with the same two, and then he puts Grealish in there because
Maguire's going to start.
His boys,
Maguire back, yeah.
Of course, okay. So then the two Rice and Phillips.
He needs to drop one of them. That can't continue, man.
Well, is it that if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't,
Mike is pissed.
It's
just mad. Just drop one of them, like.
Yeah,
no,
you can't.
If you talk about something, if you just one of them, he's gonna play Henderson. Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah,
I think Henderson's
Mount
coming
is
back
in there as well.
Yeah,
but he could play Bellingham. But yeah, you could bring back Maguire and Henderson.
Yeah.
But if Maguire, one of the narratives that was given why we're playing two holders is because the central defense is so weak. Maguire would be back, so why would you still need these two holders? If they play two holders against Czech Republic, they're playing two holders for the tournament, and they're not getting past the next round.
Yeah, I agree with that. Something's got to change, definitely.
I wish them the best. I hope they play well. I hope they win like 4-1 or something.
Well, this is what I was just going to say. This is why it's hard to give predictions because, I mean, we don't know what team that clown is going to put out.
Put some respect on the manager, for goodness sake. If he brings it home, you've been Trafalgar getting pissed in your whole life.
Water tonight, bro.
It's gonna be Southgate, wouldn't he? You know that for 100%. It's gonna be Southgate. I don't think it really matters how you get it done. I just Southgate, man. It's not gonna change, is it? It's never gonna change. So why wish that's not gonna happen? So I don't really.
Oh, it's too shook. But GJ, even though you say it's too difficult, I'm sorry. I'm gonna do it. What's your prediction?
Draw. I reckon draw. Probably a 1-1. I just think at the moment it's not clicking. There's no fluidity to our play. You're not getting. I mean, there's a carcass up front. A guy who's just had a bid of £100 million for him. He needs to. We need to see the best of him. As I keep saying, we want to see Grealish and Foden together. Just release the shackles. Stop playing with a handbrake on. But I don't hold out much hope. And Czech Republic won't be easy to beat. Yeah, so I just reckon draw. A 1-1 or a 0-0. I'll go 1-1.
Okay, I'll go around everyone else. Mikey, what's your prediction?
England will win 2-1.
2-1. Okay, viewers, Mikey said 2-1, so get your bets on.
It's not something that you
Have you got the scorers as well?
Yeah, give us the scorers, man.
England, if they win though, they're going to end up playing the runners-up of that group.
Don't watch that, man. Don't watch that.
When England play Germany, England. Do you know what? If England played the players they can play, then I would back them. But playing this way, I will back against them. So when they play Germany, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's done.
But to be fair, we don't know for sure they're going to face Germany. So they have to just win the game.
I expect Germany to be runners-up in that group, though, because I expect Germany to beat Hungary and I expect France to beat Portugal. Yeah,
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That we can't know for sure. It could be a draw. For example, in a way, you could say France flopped it against Hungary. So why can't they draw again against Portugal?
They could. And then England play France.
Yeah, exactly.
You go from bad to worse.
It's done.
So imagine they try to do the second, and then in the end, they go fast anyway. So it's hard.
The way I mapped it out, England will, if they think, it's not looking good. The route through is not good. So it's not coming home, lads. It's not good.
Enjoy what you can.
Do you know the best thing that could happen to England if they finished third place? But it's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah.
That's how stupid this tournament is. Yeah. The teams finishing in third place are getting better routes through than winners of groups.
Yep.
And that should never be the case.
But like I said, if you want to go and study the reason for this draw and you have your ibuprofen ready, go and look at it. It's a long story. There's a lot of reasons why this ended up the way it's ended up, and it's just a long story. It's not even worth looking into in much detail. But there's a reason for all the nonsense you're seeing, and it's a long story. It's just boring. So we just have to accept it. It is what it is. Because of the fact that it's 24 teams.
Mr. Czech predicting 3-1. Kane 2 goals and Stones with a header. Doesn't care his scores for Czech.
I'm going to go forward.
2 Czech.
2-1. Penalty by Kane. And the Maguire slap header. And, dead ball situation. Dead ball specialist, the usual.
All right. CT, what's your prediction?
I'm going to go 1-0 England. From a set piece. Yeah. Maybe Trippier top bins, probably.
Good stuff. Not James. Not James, yeah?
Nah, no, not James. Right. Not James.
I'm going to go for an England win, probably 1-0. It's not going to be pretty, I think. But it doesn't need to be, because all they need to do is just get through the group and then get knocked out in the next round. Okay, so the other game in the group is Scotland against Croatia. I think Scotland are going to do it, personally. They're going to do it.
What? Che Adams going to bang it?
What are you doing?
Get GJ's thoughts on it. He likes Scotland.
Scotland are going to do it. They're going to beat Croatia. You heard it here first.
No, they're not. I mean, first of all, they've got the Scottish N'Golo Kante missing, right? Gilmore, they're calling him the Scottish N'Golo Kante. So he ain't going to be there. So Modric is just going to run the show. He's going to run the show anyway. Who's going to score for Scotland?
Doesn't matter. Don't you worry yourself about that, DJ.
Respect the team.
Right? No. I mean, Scotland, we all know they won the World Cup on Friday, right? Well done. You got your draw. You scrambled for it. Well done. But you're going home. All right? And that's that.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the other games that are going on. Just put the graphic up, please. Or the banner up, I should say.
Is that because you've forgotten?
France, Portugal.
Germany against Hungary. Portugal against France. Okay, let's quickly do a preview of Portugal versus France. Kind of touched on it earlier. What are we going to say in terms of who's going to win this game? I think it's probably going to be a draw, to be honest. But what do we think, GJ?
I'll go for a narrow France win, 1-0.
Okay, Uche?
I really can't call it. After that horror show, I was looking forward to this game. And after that horror show, I'm kind of unenthused about Portugal. But I'm going to still stick my head out and say 1-1.
1-0. CT?
Boy, if Portugal turn up the way they did against Germany, it's going to be like 3-0 France for me. And then Mbappe finally gets off the on the score sheet.
CT, you do know they played 2 games of only scored twice, and only one of them with an own goal, right? So
trust me. Don't trust me.
Yeah,
Portugal play like that. If they don't fix up.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because you got Mbappe versus Semedo. I mean, come on, guys.
It's going to be a joke, bro.
No. Mbappe versus Semedo, right? It's crazy. That's a massacre.
Mikey D. Massacre for France.
Before repeating that Semedo thing, I was going to say 2-1 to France, but now 3-1. It's just gone up one. But seriously, like, just exploiting those gaps. Mbappe loves the runs down the channels.
Absolutely.
Like, he was able to pull Hummels there. He's just going to get in between Semedo. Yeah. And what? Mbappe against Pepe? Yeah. That'd be interesting.
That could be a red there.
That's a red card. It's waiting to happen. 100%.
Straight. So, yeah, 3-1. I'm going France now.
3-1 France. Okay. All right. So that's the preview of that game. Germany against Hungary. I'm guessing we all think that Germany gonna win that game.
Not at all.
No?
Not at all.
No?
Hungary have proven to you guys they're ballers. Trust me. Dark horses. Hungary are going to ball
Germany,
out.
by the way.
I don't care where it is.
Let me save you. It's at Munich, by the way. Okay.
It don't matter.
Okay.
1-0.
Okay.
1-0.
Carry on.
Hungary to score first.
1-0.
Yeah.
Okay. To be honest, Hungary they do sit back. They're not going to make it easy.
Don't even give him any.
They're not going to make it easy. Is all I'm going to say. But Germany going to win.
We'll see.
Right.
We'll come back here next time.
I'll go Germany because it's in Germany and Hungary. Let's see how good they are without their fans behind them. I'll go. I'll go 3-0.
3-0 Germany.
Seconded.
Uche.
2-0.
2-0. Okay, we've got 1-0 from Mr. Trex. And Mr. Trex also thinks that France are going to beat Portugal 3-2. Okay. So let's wrap it up there. So tomorrow we're going to do a watch along of the England game, and we may have somebody on the Scotland game, but we'll see. So tune in for that. The main show is going to be on Thursday night as usual, where we'll be reviewing the games that happened over the last couple of days, or the next couple of days, I should say, and then previewing the weekend games. So join us on Thursday. But as always, on the Monday night show, we wrap up with a highlight of the week. I'm not going to go first because I've got an idea of what other people might be choosing. I don't want to steal their funding like I did last week. So I'm not going to go to Mikey or CT.
What?
CT's face drop.
Yo,
damn you!
I don't want that smoke. Uche.
I'll give it to them. I'll let CT have a go. Go on.
Go.
You give it to me? Yeah. I'm taking it. Sorry, Mike.
Well, there's some big bias in the place. This is racism, guys.
Straight up.
I'm giving it to Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns.
Everybody, CT doesn't even watch the NBA.
Bro, are you mad?
He just
Don't even bring out my NBA tops. Don't even bring out my NBA tops. I've got NBA on my PS4, bro. I play it all the time.
NBA
2K21, 2K20. I've got it all, bro. I know the things, bro. I'm giving it to Devin Booker for his display against the LA Clippers yesterday. Was it yesterday? Triple-double, bro.
When they played.
He was bossing the game. I even doubted him at one stage because They were no. It was aggressive
You said
defense
this guy
against
can't
him.
do anything. He's been.
I said they sussed. No, I said they sussed him out. But this guy's
in a row.
He's the next one up for sure. He's the next one up, man. Trust me. Devin Booker for a triple double against his performance against LA Lakers. I haven't seen anything like that on a live watch. So big up Devin Booker, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, go on then, Uche.
Yeah, so I knew he would do that, so I just gave him the pass. I'm still staying on the NBA though. I think congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis the freak, Giannis the true Nigerian. You know, got the world after getting destroyed, and rightly so. And they made it a comeback, and now they have a chance to make the NBA Finals, which there's a fantastic chance because they're going to be playing the Atlanta Hawks. So that was my highlight. Just being
Isn't he from Greece?
Yeah, they call him the Greek freak, mate. What's happening? we got to check his passport, mate. I don't think he's repping Nigeria, bro.
Listen, no, you're right. He's Greek, but unless you've ever seen Antetokounmpo anywhere, I don't know about. As far as I'm concerned, no, but you're right. I can't. He's Greek. He's Greek, but he's got a Greek passport. But as far as I'm concerned, he's Niger. That's how he is, mate. So yeah, I'm happy for him. It's a shame that Embiid didn't do it for take these guys through yes last night as well to make it an African thing. But yeah, just a highlight.
All right, and Mikey, what's yours?
John Rahm.
I try and take it from Curbs.
This is chestnut checkers, man. You gotta go first, Curbs.
Curbs is so stunned, he can't believe it.
I was so waiting for it.
After the last tournament where we got ejected because of the whole COVID situation, to come back straight away and win this tournament is just crazy. I had that, and I had Devin Booker, which was stolen. So sorry, GJ. Get thinking quick.
No problem. I already knew what you were going to do, so I'm going to say Josh Verstappen.
I knew someone was going to bring that.
No.
Come on, get in.
You know what? I was gonna jump in before you to jack that one, so you had nothing left. But
that's what you should have done.
He overtook Hamilton twice. He done the brother up twice.
That second takeover, Hamilton didn't even. He should have just tried to block him off a bit more. That was crazy. It was too easy.
Let him through too easy, man.
I was going to say I wasn't there last week, but my highlight of the week before would have been Djokovic. I'm sure one of you guys would have said that, winning the French Open. Yeah. I'm a big tennis fan, but I didn't watch a second of it because I knew what was going to happen. I'm a big Nadal fan, and I knew he was going to beat Nadal. I was waiting for this day, and he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
Just to say, I watched it.
You're a tennis fan, but you're such a hater of Djokovic.
No, it's not that I'm a hater of Djokovic. It's just that I don't want to see my guy get beaten on his number one surface.
My gosh, he's won enough, hasn't he? Jeez.
Nah, but I mean, it was kind of like
this guy. Stop hating.
He's won enough. He's got like 14 of those at home.
Djokovic is the first player in the modern era to win on each major at least twice. Yeah. And he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, definitely.
It's actually funny how I rate it so much the way these guys are looking after their bodies and then pulling out of tournaments now to make sure they're fine-tuning it for the last hurrah. I think it's fantastic. So now pulling out Wimbledon, which is absolutely brilliant. It makes so much sense. Just like Federer pulling out of French Open made too much sense for his stage in his career. Just nothing but respect for all three of them. Just incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Djokovic reminds me of like Ronaldo. He's just got that fierce determination to win and win at all costs. And everything he does is just for the performance. So you have to admire that. You really do.
It's incredible, yeah.
All right. And I'm going to finish off with, given everyone's stolen all the good ones, I'm going to finish off with Denmark, given how they started this tournament and how they finished tonight's game, 4-1. Qualified did it for Ericsson. So yeah, Denmark is my team. All right, so that's
just before we go. One last comment from Trex in the thread. Booker was amazing, but Durant's game 5 was something special.
It was.
Durant's game 5 was crazy. It's a pity that we have to see the Nets go home.
Unfortunately, the way we do in the NBA is like, you can perform in game 5, but if it's a game 7
is what matters.
And that's what it's about. So unfortunately,
the margins of that final shot he took. My lord!
He needed to wear smaller shoes.
Did you see his post-match interview? He was screwing. His post-match interview. Oh my gosh, he was screwing.
No, it was a shame, man, because like it couldn't get any worse. To have a dead Harden and then on top of that to have Kyrie injured, they would have won this so easily. But this is what happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Let's leave it there, lads. Let's leave it there. So thanks everyone for joining us for tonight's show. As I said, we're going to do some watch-alongs over the next couple of days. So we've got England game tomorrow, and then we've got the France game against Portugal on Wednesday, and then the main show again on Thursday. So join us for all of those if you can, and we'll see you again very soon. All right, that was good.